Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. A new challenger has entered the ring in the realm of 1/12 scale Street Fighter action figures. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Storm Arena Street Fighter Alpha 3 Ken. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Articulated Empire is your newest online retailer for shopping for your favorite figures and toy lines like Mythic Legions, Savage Crucible, and Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, to name a few. They ship your orders quickly and securely. Visit articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. All right, here is the packaging for the Storm Arena. Now, Storm Arena is, of course, from Storm Collectibles, but the Storm Arena is their 1/12 scale line. They're smaller. They're smaller and more affordable lines. So these are coming in around $26.99. At least that's what I paid for this guy. And then in some places you can still find the Jada Toys regular figures for $24.99, but they are going up. Some places, like I've seen them at Walmart, the standard figures, the base figures, are $29.99. So they're still within a few dollars of each other. I do love the big artwork here on the front. We have more artwork there on the side. The logo on the front with some spot varnish on the top, spot varnish right there. Same thing on that side, some legal stuff there on the bottom. And then on the back, we just have a shot of the figure and all of the various poses that you can get him in, which is pretty cool. I do dig that. But I have to say that while we are comparing this to the Jada Toys line, I gotta say that I dig this packaging better. I like the arcade feel. I love that it looks like an arcade cabinet. It's just a little more dynamic, and it looks really cool on the shelf. This kind of just blends in with other SH Figure Arts or Mafex packaging. That's probably what they're going with, you know, or what they're going for. I get it, but for me and my money, I just think that this is a little more dynamic, and I like it just a little bit better. But here, I mean, we're not here for the packaging. We're here for the figures. So let's get this guy opened up and take a closer look. Now, I did want to show that there is a nice little insert with the background, just like they do with Jada Toys. So if you want to pull this out and use it as a backdrop for your character, you certainly can. I don't do that, but I just don't have this place, the place to display them that way. Out of the package, you do get a number of things. You do get this flaming fist effect, which is really nice. It is a really cool kind of yellow to orange to darker orangish red gradient, which looks really cool. It has a little stamp of his fist. It looks like it would fit either fist, either left or right. So that's pretty cool. He does come with numerous hands. So if you are, you know, keeping score and try to compare the Jada and the Storm Arena, he does come with 2 extra sets of hands, and they are kind of like a soft rubbery. They're not hard. They're kind of squishy, so they're very soft. So that means they're going to pop on and off really easily. Looks like they're all on like a ball joint, so you know you don't have to worry about horizontal or vertical hinges. So you got 2 fists. You get 2 of his like Hadoken gesturing style hands that you would, you know, use to do the fireball. And then you get 2, like, I'm just going to call these personality hands. So you've got him doing the peace sign. You can see how rubbery they are. And then, you know, if it's either come here or sort of like pointing almost. I do like the inclusion of these. And then he also comes with 2 heads. So 2 different heads, one kind of stoic and looking straight on, and then one kind of smirking, which I really like. And I do believe like the hair pieces are identical, so there's no difference there. And they're not removable, even though it is a separate piece. You can see how it's like separate and molded on. But I do like very clean paint, very simple style paint application. Looks very nice, very close to the in-game art. But yeah, you know, again, very soft and pliable, soft rubber. Look like they're going to pop on and off, no problem. And then we get this base, which is a far more elaborate base than we get with than we get with the Jada Toys. So because the Jada Toys comes with a base for the flame effect, but they don't come with bases for the figures. I don't believe that any figure has come with any kind of stand or base as of yet. And this looks pretty elaborate. If I can get this out on camera, I probably should have opened this first before doing the review. That would have been nice, right? But we do have this round circular base here with 5 different presets for the base right here. And so the base can plug in like that, and you can either rotate this arm like that, and then you can raise and lower the base. And you have 2 different types of stands. You have the clear plastic stand where you wrap it around the figure and then push it in, and then the tension will hold. Or you have a style that looks like it'll be a little harder to see, but it's also metal, and same premise. And maybe this is for a different style. You can see that they're, you know, different materials and different heights, but that's pretty cool.
Bruh.
Jesus, that thing could be used as like a medieval catapult weapon. That was crazy. I'll have to go find that, or maybe that's gone forever. But I do dig that. That is something that the Jada Toys figures haven't yet to include, is a nice fighting stand. And so, you know, given that the Jada Toys prices are going up, these prices are still $26.99 for the Storm Arena figures, and you're getting a little bit more stuff. So accessory wise, we're going to give the edge to Storm Arena. And then here is Ken right out of the package. And at first blush, if you were to say, hey, that looks like the Jada Toys Street Fighter Ken, you would be correct. You would be very, very correct. So here is the Street Fighter 2 Ultra Jada Toys Street Fighter Ken, and you can see they're very, very, very similar in I mean height, in color, in sculpt even. It's really going to come down to how they move, and then I think it's going to come down to your personal choice of aesthetic. This definitely looks like the old school character art from Street Fighter 2. This definitely looks like the newly updated, more anime style Street Fighter Alpha. There's no doubt about that. When you're comparing the two as far as like paint application, it looks like Storm Arena has a little bit of shadowing and a little bit of wash to the gi, where there is none on the Jada Toys, but there is, I mean, it's just straight red plastic, no wash and no paint at all, but there seems to be a lot more paint on the body and the skin, where there doesn't seem to be hardly any at all on the Storm Arena one. So it's really, I honestly, guys, I think an old school term that my mom used to say is you got 6 in one hand and half a dozen in the other. I mean, it's basically what we're looking at here. It's going to come down basically to aesthetics. But let's see how this guy moves. He's a lot of fun. This is a fun figure to mess around with. I think it's absolutely great. I'm going to have so much fun playing around with this guy. Because the hair is kind of soft, it does look like you can move, oh my goodness, you can move the head up quite a bit. You did see that it is on a double ball joint. The neck and the head are both on ball joints, just like the Jada Toys version. So you can get lots of range of motion there. You can move that around, get lots of emotion there for sure. You do have a butterfly joint, so you can see that moves back and forth. We're going to take this top off in a minute, and I'll definitely show you how that looks. But you can come over a really far amount. You can go back a really far amount. And then, of course, you got full rotation. You're going to be able to go out and hit that T-pose, no problem. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, moves super smooth. You've got that ball joint on the wrist, which has a hinge, and it's a ball joint. So you can get that hand to move all the way around. Again, with the hands being kind of gummy, you're going to be able to pop those hands on and off, no problem. The chest is also kind of like a soft rubbery plastic, so that's kind of, but it also feels kind of like a thick plastic, not very thin. not as thin as this. So with all of that, you can crunch forward that far, which is not bad with a lot of rubber going on. And then you can lean back about that far, which is fantastic. You do have rotation there. And then is this a separate? Yep, you've got a separate upper diaphragm, this is like rubber on rubber, which is kind of crazy. Full rotation at the waist. You do have the drop down hips, so that's really cool. You can go all the way forward like that. You can go all the way out to the side. You can go back quite a ways. You do have that upper thigh cut. You do have double jointed pinless knees, can go all the way back, no problem at all. Do we have a foot? Yep, we have a foot cut hidden by the bottom of the torn gi, and then feet can go up and down and all around. Man, this ankle joint is nice. And then you do have a very stiff foot toe articulation, which I feel like is necessary. I'm not typically a fan of toe articulation, but here I dig it because of all the fight stances that they need to get into. So he basically has all the same points of articulation that this guy has. Everything's the same. Like, you're going to see the same points of articulation here and here. As far as taking the gi off, the tie is a separate piece which you unplug. And then, let's see, how are we going to do this? I have not taken this off yet, but I have seen other reviewers do it. Oh, this is just a belt. So that comes off right there. And then comes around. And then you can unplug this and then take that off. And you can even pull this little peg out if you want, so that if you want to have this as a piece like he's holding it, you certainly can. So let's go ahead and get that off that side, get it off this side, so we can take a look at this. My goodness, like that looks, whew, that looks incredible. So you do have, oh man, okay, I see what's going on here. Instead of two joints, so I'm going to have to take back what I just said, because this is a joint right here that we see on like Marvel Legends figures that we don't have on the Jada Toys figure. They do not have like a cutout like this. So that's an extra point of articulation. So you've got that point, you've got the ball joint at the waist, and then you've got this piece right here. So that's really, man, I love the aesthetic of this. This looks great. You can move that all the way around. You can get the arm. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Look at that. How far over that goes. That's incredible. Now you are going to get some crazy gappage, but like from the front, like if you're just, look, you're not seeing the back. From the back, yeah, that's totally ugly. But I mean, yeah, you want to definitely be careful and make sure you don't get anything like that going on. But like, you can totally pose this guy without his gi on 100% and get some fantastic poses. Like, there's no doubt about it. And I even like the way that this looks, like his shorts, the way it looks. You do want to just mind that gap though. But yeah, that's pretty freaking incredible and looks pretty good. So this is a rubbery, soft rubbery cuff that goes around in that butterfly socket. So you've got soft rubber there, soft rubber there. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Woo! I am digging the way the silhouette this guy's cutting is incredible. All right, so let's try out his accessory here and see what that looks like. Yeah, that's going to plug on nicely onto that hand. And let's see if they've made any allowances for the thumb. I don't think so. I think it's going to work either way. Yeah, it works great either way. It's on and not coming off. So let's do a little size comparison between this kin and some of the characters from the Jada Toys line that have some height differences. All right, so just bringing in some other characters from the Jada line. Here is how he stands up against like a smaller, like female character like Chun-Li. We've already kind of seen him with Ken, but I'll bring Ken back out here just so you can see that they're pretty much the same height. And then as far as like some other characters as well, here he is next to Blanca. And so also here he is next to Sagat. You want to mix these in? You certainly can. I think that they're going to fit perfectly. there's nothing here that's out of scale. They're all the same scale. So this is going to be perfect. You want to mix them in, you certainly can. I'm going to, because listen, like, I'm not going to be a completist with either one of these lines. But I think they're going to fit in well, especially considering Street Fighter Alpha 3 has a deeper bench than Street Fighter 2 Ultra does. I mean, you've got, like, I don't know, 17, 18, 19 characters versus nearly 40. So it's got double the roster. So they got a much deeper bench, and there's a lot of characters in that line that I'm looking forward to. So I'm just going to pick and choose both. I'm very, very glad that I have this Ken. I love Ken. He's my favorite. He's kind of like my Raphael. Like, anytime a line of figures comes out with Street Fighter, if I get one, I always get Ken. He's my favorite. And so I definitely, I immediately went and pre-ordered Ryu, because I was like, yep, this guy is fantastic. Let me go ahead and get him as well. And then we'll see where we go from there. So let's get this guy into some lighting and into some backgrounds up on a rotating base, get him into some poses, and see how he poses up. All right, guys, to me, this really is sort of a toss-up here. Jada Toys does have some strengths. To me, they have better packaging, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the toy, right? It comes down to the figure, right? Because that's what we're keeping, and that's what we're messing around with, and that's what we're putting on our shelf. And I'm going to have to say that, yes, they have better packaging. They have better paint apps when it comes to the torso, the body, the skin tones, things like that. Also, one of the things about the Jada Toys figures that I love is that I can go and find them in stores locally. You know, like, for the most part, I would say probably at least 2/3 of the Jada Toy Street Fighter figures that I have found in stores. Walked into my store and bought it. And that is a huge plus for a toy line, because that's becoming more and more rare these days, as you know, we just constantly fight for things online. The Street Fighter, the Storm Arena figures, where they have it is in the mobility. This figure has a little bit more mobility in, like, the shoulders, the butterfly joints especially, and then the lower waist articulation. But also, the Street Fighter Alpha 3 line boasts, for me personally, a better aesthetic. I like the way I like that anime look of these characters. And there's a lot of characters from Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3 Alpha, that I can't wait to see them make in this style, like Birdie and Rose and Sakura and Armika. Rolento. There's a lot. Of course, I want to see them do classics like T-Hawk and Fei Long, their version of Chun-Li. I think it's going to be great. So what I'm going to have to do is, for me and my wallet and my collection, I'm just going to have to pick and choose, kind of like I'm doing now. I won't be getting every single solitary release, but I will pick and choose. But I know that for less than $30, this is a whole lot of fun packed in a small $30 package, and I'm here for it. And you should be too. Do not be afraid to jump into this line and grab a figure, pick it up and play with it, and you will be amazed. I can't wait to see what other lines, what other IPs Storm Arena picks up for this 1/12 scale line. Whatever it is, I'm here for it, because these figures are a lot of fun in under $30. But you guys, let me know what you think about this, about this figure, about the Jada Toys figures, about both of these lines in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I'll see you in the toy aisles.